The Myanmar earthquake impact on Painite. The Myanmar earthquake impact on Painite. The Myanmar earthquake, a powerful seismic event that struck the region in the 28th of March 2025, has left an indelible mark on both the landscape and the lives of its inhabitants. As the tremors reverberated across the country, they not only reshaped the geography but also disrupted vital industries, most notably the mining of painite, a rare and sought-after gemstone. This video explores the multifaceted impacts of the earthquake on Painite, delving into the geological shifts that occurred, the immediate and long-term effects on mining operations, and the broader economic implications for local communities. By examining the challenges faced by miners and communities alike, we aim to shed light on the resilience of those affected and the potential pathways for recovery in the wake of this natural disaster. The Myanmar earthquake impact on Painite. Introduction to the Myanmar earthquake. Context and timing of the event. On the 28th of March 2025, Myanmar experienced a significant earthquake that shook not only the ground but also the foundations of local economies, including that of painite mining. Occurring in a region already prone to seismic activity, this quake came as a reminder that Mother Nature keeps her own calendar, one that doesn't always match ours. As local communities braced for aftershocks, the shockwaves resonated far and wide, affecting everything from daily life to precious gemstone production. Magnitude and epicenter details. Measuring 7.8, the quake was strong enough to send both locals and tourists into a frenzy. Think less, peaceful meditation, and more. Everyone grab your shoes and run. The epicenter was located near Zagaring region. Overview of Painite, the rare gemstone. Characteristics and rarity of Painite. Painite, a gemstone so rare that it makes a unicorn seem common. Discovered in the 1950s, Painite is known for its striking brown to reddish-brown colors, unique crystal structure, and, let's be honest, a name that sounds like it came from a fantasy novel. With only a handful of known crystals in the world, it's more elusive than that one sock that disappears in the laundry. Painite is not just a pretty face, it's a geological gem that embodies the mystery of the earth. Historical significance and discovery. The saga of Painite began when British gemologist Arthur Charles A.C.D.Pain unearthed the first specimens in Myanmar. Since then, this gem has captured the hearts of collectors and enthusiasts alike. Its brief but illustrious history parallels that of other precious stones, but with the added drama of being labeled as the rarest mineral. Painite's allure comes not just from its beauty but also from its connection to the rich cultural tapestry of Myanmar, a land of gems and stories. Geological impact of the earthquake on Myanmar. Seismic activity in the region. Myanmar finds itself in a particularly lively geological area, where tectonic plates are akin to dance partners that don't know when to stop swirling. The recent earthquake serves as a stark reminder of the ongoing seismic activity that shapes the country. While some folks might enjoy a good rollercoaster ride, the constant shaking isn't exactly a fun afternoon for those living near fault lines. The quake was just one of many in a storyboard full of geological plot twists. Changes to the landscape and topography. Following the earthquake, the landscape of Myanmar emerged looking a bit different. Think of it as nature's version of a makeover. The seismic activity led to landslides, cracking ground, and even new formations as if Mother Earth decided to redecorate on a whim. Unfortunately, This geological reshuffling can have dire implications for local habitats, infrastructure, and, you guessed it, the mining operations that rely on the Earth's stability to unearth rare treasures like painite. Effects on painite mining operations. Damage to mining infrastructure. With infrastructure in disarray post-earthquake, the mining operations for painite faced a rocky road ahead. Roads, equipment, and processing facilities found themselves in various stages of disrepair, much like that one mystery meat left in the back of the fridge. As miners evaluated the damages, the focus shifted from gem hunting to damage control, illustrating just how harshly natural events can disrupt industries reliant on the Earth's resources. Disruption of supply chains. As if the earthquake itself wasn't disruptive enough, the aftermath forced many supply chains to hit the brakes. Export routes became convoluted, shipping processes hit snags, and miners found themselves grappling with both damaged infrastructure and uncertain logistics. Just like when your favorite delivery service suddenly says, "We're out of stock," the availability of painite, or, well, any gemstone, became even more uncertain. This disruption has had ramifications not only for local economies but also for collectors eager to add this rare gem to their collections. The Myanmar earthquake. Impact on painite. Economic consequences for the local communities. Impact on local economies and livelihoods. The recent earthquake in Myanmar sent shockwaves, literally and figuratively, through local economies dependent on painite mining and related activities. As the ground trembled, so did the livelihoods of thousands who rely on this rare gemstone for the daily bread. With mines damaged and transportation routes disrupted, families that once thrived in the gemstone trade faced uncertainty, reduced income, and, let's face it, a lot of scrambling for alternate ways to make ends meet. Small businesses like gem shops and local vendors felt the squeeze, leading to a decline in sales and an increase in the cost of living. Talk about a double whammy. Government and non-governmental responses. This earthquake exposes junta's brutality. Myanmar military junta limited aid in earthquake areas and continues airstrikes on civilians despite earthquake. In the wake of the earthquake, aides from other countries and NGOs swung into action, although one might argue that their response could use some more coordination. Relief efforts have focused on immediate shelter and aid for affected families, but many in the community are looking beyond just survival. NGOs are stepping in with initiatives aimed at restoring mining operations and providing training in alternative livelihoods. The catch: reviving painite mining requires a good deal of money and know-how to ensure it's done responsibly. Fingers crossed that a combined effort can lead to both recovery and better practices. Environmental ramifications of the earthquake. Effects on local ecosystems. Earthquakes can wreak havoc beyond human settlements, and the Myanmar earthquake was no exception. The tremor disrupted not just mining sites but also the delicate balance of local ecosystems. With land shifting and water pathways altered, flora and fauna have taken a hit. Wildlife habitats became fragmented, and when you factor in increased human activity as communities try to rebound, we might be looking at long-term consequences for biodiversity in the region. So, while painite might sparkle in the jewelry store, the environmental fallout isn't nearly as shiny. Long-term environmental concerns. In the long run, the ramifications for the environment may prove more alarming than a broken nail at a gem show. Soil erosion, water contamination, and loss of vegetation could haunt these communities for years to come. Additionally, the push to quickly revive painite mining operations may lead to less than sustainable practices. The "let's get back to normal" mentality can be a dangerous one when it comes to respecting and preserving our natural surroundings. Conservation efforts will need to be at the forefront of recovery to prevent permanent damage, because, let's be honest, humans have an uncanny knack for messing up beautiful things. Future outlook for painite sources in Myanmar. Assessment of recovery efforts. Looking ahead, the recovery efforts for painite mining in Myanmar are as mixed as a bag of jelly beans, some sweet successes and some sour disappointments. Communities are slowly getting back on their feet, but the pace is more akin to a tortoise than a hare. The effectiveness of recovery hinges on both financial investment and international support. Plus, local miners need to be involved in shaping the future of their industry instead of being mere bystanders. An inclusive approach could pave the way for not only restoring painite production but also ensuring that it benefits the community as a whole. Potential for sustainable mining practices. As the dust settles, figuratively, of course, there's an opportunity for the Myanmar painite industry to embrace sustainable mining practices. If implemented correctly, mining could become less about depleting resources and more about creating a virtuous cycle that respects nature. Technological advances and community engagement can be game changers, steering the industry toward environmentally responsible practices. If communities and stakeholders can work together, we might just see a future where painite mining is a shining example of how to harmonize economic needs with environmental stewardship. Conclusion and reflection on resilience. Lessons learned from the disaster. The Myanmar earthquake serves as a powerful reminder of nature's might, and our tendency to take things for granted. Communities have learned the hard way that resilience isn't just a buzzword, it's a way of life. The disaster has highlighted the need for stronger infrastructure and support systems, as well as the importance of emergency preparedness. Perhaps the most poignant lesson is that, while gemstones may glitter, they are not the only treasures at stake. Community connections and environmental health are equally priceless. Hope and community strength moving forward. As Myanmar navigates the path to recovery, one thing is clear: the spirit of its people shines brighter than any painite. Community strength and solidarity can be cornerstones of rebuilding efforts, fostering a hopeful outlook for the future. The journey won't be easy, but with resilience, innovative thinking, and a commitment to sustainability, there is a bright light at the end of the tunnel. Here's to hoping that the lessons learned from this disaster will illuminate a path towards a more sustainable and equitable future for all. In conclusion, the Myanmar earthquake has profoundly affected the painite mining industry and the local communities that depend on it for their livelihoods. While the immediate aftermath has brought significant challenges, including damaged infrastructure and economic instability, there is also a sense of resilience and hope among the affected populations. As recovery efforts continue and the region begins to heal, the future of painite mining in Myanmar will depend on embracing sustainable practices and learning from this experience. By coming together, the communities can work towards rebuilding not only their industry but also their lives in a way that honors both the beauty of painite and the strength of their spirit. Subscribe to unlock a world of knowledge, entertainment and mystery. Hit the subscribe button and join our YouTube adventure about mysterious painite gemstones. The more subscribers we have, the more motivated we are to create amazing content for you. Thanks for watching.